Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to the No Name Music Cast. My name's Tim, and this is
Joy.
Now, just at the top of the show, there's a few rumours floating around, and I thought, in the No Name Music Cast world, let's go ahead and just make sure that that's been dealt with straight off. So,
as we should. That was me hitting the keyboard, everyone. Don't make Tim take that out. It's Joy's fault. All right.
So
with
Joy,
your rumors.
These rumours. So, as many people know, in London, ABBA have this Avatar show called ABBA Voyage.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, so basically what they've done is they've captured themselves digitally with the help of industrial light and magic. And they have a live band, and then they have the avatars on stage, and it's all digital, but there's real lights and real smoke and stuff like that. And a lot of people are saying that, is this the future of live music? Are legacy acts going to capture themselves digitally and then can tour infinitely in this kind of capacity? And I've seen some of the early reviews of ABBA Voyage, because it only opened this evening. Now, we're recording this at the end of May, so you'll be hearing this in a few weeks' time, but you will have heard that the ABBA show is absolutely fantastic. So at the very top of the show, I just want to clear the air and say that Joy and I are going to be doing this in real life. We're not going to be sending our avatars in for your favorite podcast, so you don't have to worry at this stage.
Yeah. We thought about it. And then I also thought about asking, see, you guys don't know this, but Tim is a 6th degree removed member of ABBA.
Sure.
And so they called him, but like he was too concerned about the podcast. He couldn't come. There were some scheduling conflicts, time zones. And then he's like, well, what if we put our avatars? It's like, maybe not yet, Tim. We got to see how it all flows. But yeah, we're not there.
No, we're going to be doing this, as they say, I believe the kids say old school, like turning up in, well, I say turning up in person. Joy and I do this on Zoom because it's easier to edit the files. But we're doing it
2022 person.
We are real people doing the podcast. We're not sending in digital creations yet.
I mean, could digital creations come with this comedic timing? I think not.
Exactly. And then hit the table and tell a story about an injury. I mean, they're not going to do that.
I feel personally attacked by that statement, but we'll continue. It's probably a throwback to Ted being 6 degrees removed from ABBA.
Oh dear. Anyhow, so that's I consider the air cleared.
All right.
All right. So we've decided to do a new segment at the top of the show. And this segment is called Ask Joy. So I either think of a question, or people who listen to the podcast send in their questions. If you have a question that you want to ask Joy, just put it on Twitter. You can get us on there, or Instagram, are on there too, or our Facebook page. So just leave us a note on there for a question that you want to ask Joy. It can be absolutely anything. You want to know what Joy's favorite shoes are, or what's her dream job, or it doesn't matter. It's the more random, the better. But anyhow, we have a question that came through from Saz, who's one of our listeners. She is the creator of the No Name Music House bingo card version 1 and 2, in fact. So she is a long-time listener of our podcast. Now, she poses a question in this Ask Joy section. She says, what's the first thing you'd do if you was made president of the United States?
Okay, I thought about this, and I don't want to get too political because this is not a political spirit. And Lord knows me and Tim hear about politics all day, every day, and we don't want this to become that. But I do know what I would do, Tim. Mm-hmm. I would wipe everybody free of medical and educational debt.
Yeah, I think that'd be start the slate completely clean.
No, I'm not saying all debt because, I don't want to cross too much barriers, and there are people who have done things they shouldn't do, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying everybody who is, because I don't think that like having cancer should be a debt, should put you in debt. And I don't think that trying to better yourself and getting higher education should put you in debt. So one of the very first things I would do is that. I think my other, if I had 2 things I would do, I would stress term limits for our senators and our congressmen, not a Supreme Court justice, because that's different. That's more of a career. But you get 2 years, and maybe once you hit 55, buddy, let's see if you're still wanting to do this, because And I think everybody who's universally a human knows this with your government. Sometimes they get out of check when they've been doing it for too long.
Sure.
So there's my choices, Tim.
Well, there we are. I think they're all worthy choices. Now, do you have something random that you would do? Because, like, when Barack Obama became president, he had a concert in the White House, and it had like Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney and things going on. Is there something like that you would do?
See, I feel like I took it too serious because our world's too serious. Let's see. The fun thing I would do. That's hard. I mean, I feel like Barack Obama did it well. Like, I'd want something like that. I'd want to have like every Thursday, it's like everybody gets off at 3 p.m. and you go to some concert locally. Maybe I would just start, like, what is it they do in Spain? Their siestas?
Siestas, yeah.
I would make everybody have siestas at 2 p.m.
I think that would be good. And I think all of those political people, it's like, just go and have a nap for an hour and then we'll talk about this when we get back.
I think I would, and maybe it's good for the mental health. It's good for us as humans, get us away from our desks and stuff. Yeah, I think my fun thing would be, because I took it too seriously, would be 2 p.m. siestas.
There we are. I think the world, or the United States certainly, would be a better place if everybody just took a nap at 2 o'clock.
But Lord knows I don't want to be president. That's a hard job.
No, I wouldn't want that.
No matter what you do, you fail. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
As good as a good
half the country will think you're doing the best job ever, and the other half will think you did the worst job ever.
I didn't want to get into it, but my other thoughts were on the two-party system, but that's a debate for another time. All
Joy,
right,
these podcasts run for about an hour. We haven't got time for that.
That's what I said. That's a debate for another time. No, if you have a podcast that does political topics and you'd like me to segue, we can talk. All right, Tim, let's get to the topic.
Okay,
which is my topic.
Yeah, so Joy is very excited about this topic. She told me this is going to be the best topic ever and the best podcast ever or something. So, Joy, tell me about it.
Okay, that's extreme, and now I feel pressured. But it's something we've brought up a lot. It's something I think people will find interesting. It's something Tim and we have debated, and everyone, boomers, millennials, Gen X, I don't know all the terms. No, it's now. That's what I call music.
Ooh.
So I learned today where that comes from, and I was very shocked of where that term comes from. So what we're going to do is I have the history of now. That's what I call music. We're going to run through it briefly, discuss what we know, what we think we know, yada, yada, give you guys the download. And then I have the top 4 highest selling now that I call music albums universally, like not just America, not just UK. There's 4 that have, one has went platinum 7 times, 2 have went platinum 6 times, and 1 went platinum 5 times.
Oh, okay.
So I did my research on this one. And so Tim was the one who explained to me that now that's what they call music sorted in the UK. Mm-hmm. So this is crazy to me, Tim, and I did not know this. Do you know where now that's what they call music, or wow, that's what you call music? We said now, but wow, that's what you call music comes from?
I think, now I could be wrong with this, I think, isn't it a picture or a painting with a pig in it?
It is. So here's where this comes from. So Virgin Records in London, it's from that's where the picture was. It's from a 1920s British advertising poster for Danish bacon, featuring a pig saying, now that's what I call music. And it's because a chicken was singing. So Richard Branson, owner of Virgin, had bought this poster from his cousin to hang behind the wall at Virgin Records. The pig became a mascot for the series, and now that's what I call music. Now, I would be curious if I can go back and find what the chicken was singing about. I'm going to know if he's like trying to tell people to eat bacon. Was he trying to help people to eat chicken? I have a lot of concerns about this.
Yeah, maybe it was some kind of satirical artwork or something. I don't know.
Anyway, well, I did look up the Danish baking company, bacon, not baking. They were bacon like pork. But the Danish Bacon Company is a real company, and they literally sold pork. And that was their poster from the 1920s. It was just like a chicken singing. And for some reason, a pig, which as a vegetarian now is pretty morbid. was telling him, yeah, wow, maybe it's a play like, you know how Chick-fil-A tries to get the cows are like, eat the chicken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably a play on that.
Yeah, and certainly, I remember Danish bacon being advertised in England, and you'd buy Danish back bacon in the supermarket. I remember that. That certainly up to 10, 15 years ago, I remember that being in the supermarket. It probably still is.
Well, it says that it started in 1840 and it's still being sold today. So, yeah. And it was 25% of the UK market as of 1980. So I imagine it's still got some sort of, and the bacon in the UK is different than our bacon, right? Like it's got a different texture.
Yeah, because like bacon here is very thin and it tends to be cooked till it's like crispy till it almost falls apart. Bacon in England is, Hannah calls it country ham. It's like,
that's what it is.
It's very thick. And then after you fry it, it's not, you may be a bit crispy, I suppose, but it's more, the texture is more kind of leathery, I suppose is the best way you can describe it.
Yeah, and that's when you hear Canadian bacon, is to say Canadian bacon is very similar to what you get in the UK. It's softer, like you can get Canadian bacon. We think of that in America as ham. There's just a different texture to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a music podcast. It's not a food podcast, everyone.
Yeah, we're two vegetarians discussing the merits of bacon.
I mean, we know what bacon tastes like, Tim, and it was good back in this day, but I don't want to eat a pig anymore. So anyway.
Can I be controversial about bacon?
What's that?
I choose not to eat meat, and that's fine. If you want to eat bacon, enjoy your bacon. It's fine.
Oh,
but
no, we got.
I would just like to be controversial and say when I ate meat, I was take it or leave it with bacon.
So I'm the opposite of Tim. I was take it or leave it with sausage. I didn't like sausage. I don't like sausage. I've never liked sausage. Patties, like, it's just interesting. So I was team bacon and maybe ham, but I was not team sausage. Were you a sausage person, Tim?
Yeah, and again, sausage is different because in England, a sausage is almost exclusively what you would call a sausage link. Whereas here, sausage can be a sausage patty. Or sausage pieces or something.
In the South, we grew up on the patties.
Yeah, and what's curious is that in England, they started selling McDonald's breakfast. I remember that. And it was like sausage McMuffin. And you'd get it and you'd be like, why has this got a burger in it? Where's my sausage?
Because it is like a burger. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And now I usually just get the egg and cheese because we were just talking about, But like usually in America, when you get a sausage McMuffin, it's got a piece of ham on it. It's not even sausage. Anyway.
Well, you can get a ham McMuffin or a sausage McMuffin.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can tell me and Tim are experts on this one. So back to the music. So the first Now was released in November 28th, 1983. And featured 30 UK singles and was a vinyl or cassette because, old school there. All of the compilation of recent hit songs into a single is not a new concept, like, take a hit song, make it into a single. This was the first time that two major record labors, that's what they were, not labels. They were labors, Tim, had collaborated. So it was Virgin did a deal, which is about Richard Branson with EMI, which I know EMI growing up. Those were the two major, like Britney, the Backstreet. When I was growing up, they were almost all on EMI or Virgin. I don't know if that's the way it was in the UK, but they were the big ones. Yeah,
because EMI had the Beatles, EMI had Queen, Virgin Records. I think their first people they ever had were the Sex Pistols, and a lot of up and coming and newer acts were always on Virgin Records.
So because they collaborated, it allowed a greater number of hits to be on the album. That's why you could do 30 songs because you were allowed to put the Virgin songs and the EMI songs. So that makes sense. It had 11 number one singles on the first album that was 30 songs. That's crazy. Because think about this, Tim. When you think of a normal album, there's usually like 1, 2, maybe 3 singles that are hits. 11.
Yeah, there was a lot on there. And as I said to you, I have a very definite memory of, what year did you say that was?
It said 1983.
Yeah, in 1983, I remember Christmas 1983, my Uncle John, who now lives in Australia, he got that now that's what I call music for Christmas. And I remember him unwrapping it on Christmas, and he was very pleased he had it.
No, I mean, it was like a thing. And what's crazy to me is in America, well, we have 85 now. It feels like 100. Good Lord, in the UK, you guys have like 1,000 of these things.
Yeah.
So anyway, the funny part is my older sister's probably screaming at me, Tim, because she was born in 1983 and I just called her 1,000. So my family is active listeners. So anyway, that was the first album and it was a hit. It was sold, it went platinum 3 times platinum. The first one did. And just in the UK, because this was not sold in the US, right? Like this was strictly UK. And that's not to say that everything that makes it in America is great. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying it's just, it's siloed.
Sure.
To make platinum, that's great. And I'm sure at some point it was released in America, but I don't have all the details right now. So from there, it just kind of every year, they said they put out 3 albums, Tim. 3 albums a year. Yeah, it was like fall, summer, spring, like clockwork.
Yeah, I remember them because I bought a number of the Nows. I think I got a couple of them on cassette and maybe a couple of them on record. But I mean, it was quite relentless, the release schedule.
Yeah. So the exact words were, the rate of release settled very quickly, 3 per year. They released 1 around late March, early April. Another around July and then November, which you get spring, summer, and then your Christmas time stuff. Yeah, which makes sense. That's actually pretty smart. Over 100 main series, including other Spirits albums, have been released to date. The UK series has followed a double album format throughout the series, which is not what we have in America. We didn't have a double album thing. That's a UK thing. So you guys would have between 40 and 46 tracks for 2 discs. Now in America, that was not a thing. So it says since November 2005, the Now series has been released on CD and digital formats. Previously, the series was only on vinyl, cassette, and MiniDisc. Until the formats declined in popularity, because they did. So it says Peter Duckworth and Steve. I read Steve, but I read Richard. I don't know how that happened. Peter Duckworth, which is the most British name I've ever heard in my entire life, and Stephen Picard have been managing the Now brand since Now 17. Mark Gooder is now the voice that advertises Now What I Call Music since 1992. And he worked for BBC Radio 1. Do you know Mark Gooder? Does that ring a bell?
Mark, how you spelling the last name?
American voice. I can't say it right. Goodier. Gooder.
It's Mark Goudier or something like that.
Well,
I think I was never a fan of Radio 1, but it's a name I'm familiar with.
Well, he is apparently the voice.
Because I think he did Top of the Pops, if I remember correctly.
Fine. Whatever British Tim said. The Southern girl from Virginia doesn't call it that. Anyway, so we talked about this, Tim, and I just wanted to get into it because what we're going to do is we're just giving you the backbone, like where it came from, just the basics. And the different formats and the history. But Tim had talked about spinoffs. I didn't know about spinoffs. There was a literal TV channel in the UK based off of Now That's What I Call Music. Did you know that, Tim?
It doesn't surprise me because when we got satellite TV in the very early 90s, when that became mainstream, and a lot of people had cable as well, there was lots of channel concepts that they were playing with.
Well, this would have been a little later. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what year you moved to the U.S., but it says on October 23rd, 2013. You'll be happy to know it's written in British Standard date format. So I had to fix that for my American brain, Tim.
Yeah, because the day number comes first, then the month, and then the year.
Okay. Anyway, so
I've completely now. If I have files which I've put the date on, I've actually gone back and put them in the American way because I've settled on that. I've settled on that as my preferred method of writing the day. I live here. Everybody does it. That's what I do. However, I will not accept the week starts on a Sunday. The week starts on a Monday, and every electronic calendar I have starts on a Monday.
So here's the thing, though, Tim. Here's what I think about that is, I guess in my American brain, I think of it as like the month is the bigger picture. So it comes second. And you got your day and then you have your month that is like grandiose. And then the year is even bigger than that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like that probably to every person in the UK is like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But anyway, I'm going on. So anyway, on the 23rd of October, 2013, the Now Music television channel was launched in the UK. Targeting a broad age group, the channel used to play current popular music in the daytime and its about 30-year catalog in the evening. So they tried to, in the day, make it more like modern, and then in the evening, they went 30 years back, which I get, people coming home from work. It was renamed Now 80s. I guess they went strictly to the 80s. On the 27th of December 2016, its success has led to two more branded channels exploring decades of Now 90s on December 2017, replacing Chilled TV, which is weird because in America, Chilled TV is like horror and like I've watched Chilled TV. I don't know what it is in the UK, but that's what it is. And now 70s, replacing Totally Country.
No.
Weird. I don't know how they got to replace those random change. But yeah, apparently it actually became a TV show or TV channel.
Yeah.
I don't know. So basically, the formats have been, as you would imagine, obviously the double CD format is where it started in the UK. It was not a double CD format when I got it in the early 90s, late 2000s. But apparently that was a UK thing. And I feel like it was probably so they could have more singles on one more album. Just a theory. And then vinyl, mini discs. And that started in 1999. The first Now album on digital download was in 2005.
Oh.
Cassette tapes ceased existence in 2006, sadly.
Okay.
So everything we said was cassette tapes till that point.
Yeah, I've never had much love for cassette tapes. It was a format that I didn't really associate with too much. And I wanted to get off cassette tapes and get into the world of CDs. So there's a lot of people out there who love tapes and embrace them, and new releases are coming out on cassette and stuff. But it's not a format that excites me particularly.
Yeah. I'm neither here nor there. The only thing that I love about it is, and Charlie brought this as an idea in the future. He thinks it's fun where me and Tim ever went and got like CDs from the record store. Charlie thinks it'd be funny if we went and bought people's old cassette tapes they made and we didn't know what we were getting. But then Tim's like, I don't have anything to play a cassette on.
I don't. I can't. When I was deciding to buy hi-fi equipment again 7 or 8 years ago, whenever I really got back into all this stuff, I thought, do I want to get into the world of cassettes? And I thought about it and I looked into it, and it's no.
But I mean, we could do the same thing with CDs, Tim. Just buy somebody's CD they burn, and figure out what we get.
Oh, and I've done that. Go to Goodwill and find someone's mixtape on CD. I mean, it's great.
That's what Charlie's theory is. He thinks we should have an episode where me and Tim just go each buy like 5 unknown CDs that people have burnt stuff, so see what we get. All right. And then this is what was weird to me is it was released on VH tapes. So on VH tapes was released as a companion to Now albums from the first volume through Now That's What I Call Movie 20, except for Now That's What I Call Movie 19. For some reason, they didn't do it for that one. I don't know. They contain music videos, some tracks featured for accompanying albums, and other tracks not found on the album. So it was like a special, like, oh, you're going to get the VHS, you get some special stuff, right?
Yeah, and I can tell you, I think it was Now 5 or Now 6 I had on VHS.
And then, Tim, here you go, hot off the presses. Some of the earlier volumes were released on Betamax and laser discs.
Laser discs were very popular, but mostly in Japan, to be fair.
I mean, yeah. And there was a Wii game. That's how much they stepped it up, Tim. A Nintendo Wii game was released in 2011. All right. So that's kind of the basics of the history. I think we all know that now we're like, what even album are we on? Is it 7,000 We don't know. But the most featured artists on it have been Robbie Williams with 30 singles, Kelly Minogue with 30 singles, Calvin Harris with 29, David Guetta with 28, Rihanna with 27, Tim's favorite, Katy Perry with 22, and Girls Aloud with 21. This does not include any uncredited appearances. Just so you know.
The big thing here is I didn't know Girls Aloud had that many singles. I thought they just did a cover of Jump and that was it.
I mean, this proves to me that it really did start in England because I had no clue. Well, UK, I should say. I have never heard of Girls Aloud till Tim brought it up like 4 episodes ago. Wouldn't know they existed. To be honest, though, those artists, a lot of those artists I named are very famous in the UK. Besides maybe Rihanna and Katy Perry, I think they're all pretty UK based.
They are, and well, I mean, Girls Aloud follows the pattern of 5 attractive people doing synchronized dance moves.
I mean, if it works, Tim. Just let it be.
I know, but I mean, it's
which isn't funny because the Beatles, 5 men. Anyway, continue. They weren't dancing, but it follows a trend anyway.
Exactly.
I thought that was funny in my head, not to anybody else, but it's fun. All right. So what we're going to do now is I think Now 50 was I don't remember specifically, but one of these albums, and I'll go back and look, is platinum 7 times. One is platinum 6 times, and 2 are platinum 5 times.
Ooh.
So I've got the track listing. I'm just going to read them off to Tim. We obviously do not have the time to talk about every single one of these songs, but I just want to see what we get a hit for. So the number 1 greatest selling Now UK, American, worldwide was Now 50, which is crazy. It's like how many? They had 50 before this? It was released on... Right? That's weird. November 19th, 2001. Joy had this album. And you can tell though, there was a thing about some of these albums. Now that I'm looking back, I realize that now that's what they call music was UK based because some of these artists. So the number 1 was Can't Get You Out of My Head. Kylie Minogue. I tell you what,
Kylie Minogue is she's I just want to say she's not Dolly. Absolutely not. She's not Dolly.
But I like
However,
her.
she is one of those kind of icons that a lot of communities love. Kylie Minogue. And I don't know, she's been an actress and she's been a singer and she's an activist and she's done all these different things. And she's becoming one of these kind of figures that cannot do any wrong. And I remember Kylie Minogue when she was on Neighbours.
I mean, I recently have gotten into her because she's just one of those people. You're right. She can't do anything wrong. Her music is great. She's universally accepted. She seems like a kind person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So here's where it gets even more British. The second album track was Uptown Girl, Westlife.
And again, Westlife following that mold of 5 attractive people doing synchronized moves.
I don't know how to say this. I don't know if it's UK. I don't know if it's somebody's going to yell at me. Don't come for me, internet. Take your shot now if you're doing the bingo card. Hey, baby, DJ OTZI?
DJ Otzi.
Is that your
I think
UK
so.
thing?
And it was a housey version of Hey, baby.
I want to know if you'll be my girl. Okay, that. So this is my favorite, though, Tim. It's Mambo number 5, but it's the Bob the Builder version, which I have heard because when I was younger, my nephew was obsessed with Bob the Builder.
Is Bob the Builder called Bob the Builder in the US, or is it the same?
I don't know. It's in America. Is Bob the Builder? Is that what you're asking me? Oh, yeah. It's universal.
Maybe I think it's somewhere else. It's not called Bob the Builder. It's called
Bob
something
the
else.
Builder. Can we fix it?
Yes,
Bob
we
the
can.
Builder. Yes, we can. Yeah, it's an American thing. I thought you were going to tell me it was like Bob the something fancy sounding builder in the UK or something.
No, it's Bob the Builder. I remember Bob the Builder. There was novelty hits. It was all going on. Merchandise.
Yes. Now, an all-time favorite of Joy's, the next band is Steps, which is also very UK, but I loved my Steps because when we got ABC Family, we could watch Steps and we could watch S Club 7 in America after we got home from school. I thought we were super posh, super cool, not related, but anyway. It's Chain Reaction, which is not a song I really know from them, but apparently it was popular at one point. The next one, though, if this isn't British, I don't know what is. It's Let's Dance by Five.
Five, as much as they're five attractive people with synchronized dance moves, as a lot of these people have, I would say one thing about Five, for better or for worse, they were the first people to do a collaboration with Brian May and Roger Taylor and call it Queen, because they did a version of We Will Rock You, which, to be fair, was quite poor. And they added like an extra verse to it, and it was terrible. But you
took creative liberties, Tim.
Yeah, you hadn't heard from Brian May and Roger Taylor for years, and then there was like some kind of Brit Awards type thing, and they came out doing this "We Will Rock You" song, and then the stage opened, and there was Brian May and Roger Taylor, and that was the first of these Queen Plus collaborations.
All right. So the next one is someone I think is probably French. And for people who don't know this, Joy's family. My dad speaks French. He's Cajun French. My French is not what you're going to hear in Parisian French or Quebecois French. So don't come for me, internet. I'm a Southern girl at heart. It's Take Me Home. Her name is Sophie. Sophie Ellis Bextor. I don't know how you would say that.
So she's not French. She's from like London. It's Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Well, I made that fancier than I had to. Continue. And then the next one is, I'm just not going to talk about that.
Her mum was Janet Ellis, and she was on Blue Peter, and that probably means nothing to you.
I think Baxter would be a French name.
It may be. But are you familiar with Blue Peter?
No. What's I supposed to, like, these words mean? I can't. Right. The way Tim's face when I went no, and he just died laughing, everyone. No, what the heck is that?
Okay, so there was a kids' TV program called Blue Peter.
I feel like I'm taking on a rocket ship every time I do this podcast. Continue.
So there's this kids' TV program called Blue Peter, and it was on at like 4:00 every day. So you come home from school and you watch kids' TV, and Blue Peter was on. And it was like an hour-long magazine-style program. So they'd interview people, they'd go out and have outside broadcast things, and they'd feature some kind of thing that kids would be interested in. They had a Blue Peter garden where they'd grow things, and then they had pets. They had Blue Peter cats and dogs. One called Shep and one called Goldie, dogs.
Okay.
And they had rotating guests, hosts on it. And they have a host for a number of years, and then they'll go off and do other things. But they would make things on screen. So if there was a toy that was very popular, they would tell you how to make it out of cardboard. And the famous substance they would use is sticky back plastic.
Okay. So what does this have to do with this lady?
Well, Janet Ellis was a presenter on Blue Peter.
Oh, and that's her mom or something?
Yeah. And that's Sophie Ellis Bextor's mother.
Okay, well, that was...
And Sophie Ellis Bextor, I follow her on Twitter. She's very interesting. She came out with a book not that long ago, which was very well received, and people really liked it. But during the lockdown, she did kitchen discos. So it was literally, she'd set up a phone in her kitchen. She would be singing all of her songs and doing cover versions as well. And her kids would just be running amok in her kitchen while she was doing it. And she would be dressed up in stage attire. And it was a lot. I mean, I watched some of them. She was actually really good. And it was a real kind of welcome break for people who were locked down.
There was so much to unpack in that last 3 minutes. So did she have quite a few? I've never heard. I don't know anything about this lady. I assumed she was French based off of the Baxter, but apparently I was wrong. Like,
no, she's not French.
Well, you win some, you lose some. All right. Wyclef, I know it's from Haiti. You can't take that one. Wyclef, Perfect Gentleman is the next one. But he is British, right, too, though? Isn't it like family from Haiti? But he's like in Britain. Because he did like that Britain Now That They Got Talent or The Voice or something.
I have no idea. I have no idea of where he lives or anything like that.
Well, someone's going to tell me it's not Haiti, and I'm completely wrong. All right. What would you do, City High? Do you know the song? I know that song. That's an American song, I think.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
If You Come Back, Blue.
Again, that's that 5 attractive people standing in a line thing. I know
Every time you say
Blue.
that, I think of 5 bad boys with the power to rock you. 4, so you want to get into. 5, what you waiting for? 3, 2. Anyway, that's the American, one of those 5 bands. Anyway. All right. Turn Off the Light, Nelly Furtado, which I do know her, but I don't know that song. Not to mind. Heaven is a Half Pipe. I do know that song, but only because it's been used in movies. It's from this one-hit wonder band called OPM. I think they're one-hit wonders.
Okay.
Bohemian Like You, the Dandy Warhols.
Yes, I've played that song many times. We used to play that in Moroccan Soul. In fact, I even recorded that song with Moroccan Soul.
So that is one that I do know. The next one is one we both know. It's Smooth Criminal, Alien Ant Farm version, not the Michael Jackson version. I like both versions. I'm team both, one not both. The next one is a band that I just saw in concert, and it is one of the songs that is the epitome. One of the first albums I ever owned was named after this song. It made me the rock fan I am today. It is Sum 41's Fat Lip.
Oh, there we are.
Wheatus, A Little Respect. Now, I don't know that song from Wheatus, but I know other songs from Wheatus because they did that song that was for American Pie. Oh God, what was it?
Teenage Dirtbag.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. And I'm going to give my husband some credit, which I don't do often. I didn't really know that song that well, but he loves that song. He plays it all the time.
Yeah, I've played Teenage Dirtbag in bands, and A Little Respect is a cover of an Erasure song.
I figured it might have been a cover based off the name.
Mm-hmm.
Sing Travis? Does that ring a bell to you? I don't know what that is.
Travis. They did an acoustic cover of Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time. If you've ever heard that.
I have not, but Ain't It Funny by J-Lo, which I know that song because I was a J-Lo fan back in the day. Another one that I know that maybe this is one that the US and the UK people will know. It's Emma Bunton. And it's Take My Breath Away. Her version of Take My Breath Away from Spice Girls, everybody. Emma, Baby Spice.
Yeah. I didn't know she did the Berlin song.
And Don't Need the Sun to Shine, Gabrielle.
She's that lady who has an eye patch.
I don't know what I thought Tim was going to say, but that wasn't it. I'm sorry.
I don't know whether she needs an eye patch medically or whether it's just
I feel really
a statement.
bad because I don't know, but I just not what. It's not about her having an eye patch that was funny. It's just that's not what I thought Tim was going to say. Okay, I'm moving along. I wish I know how it feel to be. And then this is Free/1 Lighthouse Family. I don't know. What if Kate Winslet? We know that person. Rapture by something that looks like IIO. No clue. Starlight, Superman Lovers, Little L, Jim something I don't even know how to say. Bootylicious Destiny's Child. I know that one.
Okay.
You know that one. Purple Hills, D12. Let Me Blow Your Mind, Eve. Featuring Gwen Stefani. Anybody who didn't get that, it was me singing it. I'm a Slave for You, Brittany. We know that one.
Mm-hmm.
One Night Stand by Miss T. Family Affair, Mary J. Blige. That's a favorite. Oh my God. Baby Come Over, Samantha Mumba. Let me talk about this song, y'all. So, Samantha Mumba was a staple for every millennial in America in the early 2000s. She had 2 songs. This was probably the main one, Baby Come On Over, I think. And she kind of had a Monica or a Brandy sound, but maybe more popish. Mm-hmm. Think 90s Monica, Brandy, The Boy Is Mine kind of thing. But in the early 2000s, every time you turned around, she was on the Disney Channel. I don't know whatever happened to Samantha Mumba. I can't tell you. But she had 2 songs, and I absolutely adore them. And then she just fell out of fandom. So if Samantha Mumba listens to our podcast, I want her to come on. I need her to tell her story because she deserves more.
Okay, well, we will do a special. We'll release a bonus episode, a special. If she wants to come on and tell her story, Joy is all ears.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. He'll sue us, TED Talk. It's a joke. It's a joke. But I'm just saying, she just disappeared, Tim. She was everywhere. But, you know those artists? When I was in the early 2000s, if you grew up in the early 2000s, she was everywhere. She had 2 main hits, and then she just disappeared. And then there's something called Thinking It Over by a band called Liberty. Don't know what that is. Not Such an Innocent Girl. Don't know the song, but it's by a one Victoria Beckham. Do you know who that is? Oh, here we go. Oh, Scream If You Want to Go Faster, Jerry Halliwell. There's 3 Spice Girls on this album, Tim.
Look at that.
No wonder it's the number 1 gross. And I should have predicted it. I should have known. Things that go pump with the night, the All-Stars. I'm just going to run through these last ones because they're pretty flawless. The ones, Digital, Love, Draft Punk, Super Silent Groove, Armada, Two People, Gene Smoothie, 21 Seconds, So Solid Crew, and Because I Got High, Afro Man, which I know that one.
Yes, absolutely.
So anyway, so that was the number 1 grossing, 7 times platinum. Now that's what I call music. And it does not shock me that the first song on it was Can't Get You Out of My Head.
No.
Not even a little bit. I think it's weird. The 4th one was the Mambo number 5 version by Bob the Builder, but you get what you get. I'm just going to run through these next ones because we've got limited time. Tim, stop me when I say something. Samantha Mumba's on this one too. I have a theory. Okay.
So these ones you're going to run through, are these the next best-selling ones? Which number are they? Now,
number 47. This is November 2000.
Okay.
Rock DJ Robbie Williams. We were talking about that earlier. Lady Hear Me Tonight, Mojo? M-O-T-J-O?
Yeah, the Mojo. I think it's like Mojo. Lady, but better tonight.
Oh, yeah, okay. Why did I say Mojo? That makes more sense. Because the D. The D made me think there's a hard D sound there. All right. Life is a Roller Coaster. Some name I can't say. R-O-N-A-N space K-E-A-T-I-N-G.
Ronan Keating. Ronan Keating was in Boyzone. Then you see, but again, Boyzone is the 5 attractive people standing in a line doing synchronized dance moves.
I know Boyzone, but I wouldn't be able to identify any member, Tim.
Every band or group of 5 attractive people standing in a line doing synchronized dance moves has a breakout star. And Ronan Keating was the breakout star.
We should put a trigger warning. If anybody does a shot every time Tim says 5 times.
But it's true. You are getting into the era of that's where music went. Like
it's true.
Sort of the 2000s, early 2000s. A lot of this music is, as I've said 58 times in this episode, 5 attractive people standing in a line doing a synchronized dance moves. And like, you're reading out these ones and I'm like, yep, check. But Ronan Keating, he was a great singer. I used to work with my friend Linda Dobson and she loved Boyzone and like Ronan Keating was her absolute favorite.
You need to send Linda Dobson this episode.
Yeah, I remember her having a Boyzone T-shirt. She had
adorable.
I remember. I think I've got a picture of her with a Boyzone branded Easter egg.
As a Backstreet Boys lover, I appreciate that, but I didn't grow up with them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wouldn't know who that was. So there's something called In Demand by Texas.
Texas are a great band.
Okay, I feel like I'm getting swamped on this one because I have no clue what that is either.
And also, can I just point out, many times it's been said by many people, my music knowledge ends in 1995.
It's
and
true.
Look at me with this what did you say, 2000 or what?
It was 2000. The other one was 2001. So we're back in 2000 now.
Yeah, look at this 2000 music. Like I'm killing it with the 2000 music.
Texas so there was a band in the UK called Texas?
Yeah, and they were Scottish.
There's a lot to unpack there. All right. So It's My Life, Bon Jovi. I know that one, Tim.
Yes.
Beautiful Day, U2. We know that one. Babylon by David Gray.
I'm familiar with that.
I am familiar with that. Pure Shores by All Saints.
Yeah, the All Saints are great. That's. Do you ever see the film The Beach?
Yeah.
That's the theme music from The Beach.
Oh, because Pure Shores. Oh, that makes sense. And then Holler by the Spice Girls, which I know. Mm-hmm. Body Groove, Architects featuring Nana.
I have no idea.
I said that right. Nana, 7 Days, Craig David. Body to Body, Samantha Mumba. But that was not one of Samantha Mumba's favorite songs. That was another Lucky by Britney Spears. Well, that one I do know.
I know that
do
one
know
too.
my Lucky by Britney Spears. Can't Find the Moonlight. That's LeAnn Rimes. Now, do you know where that song comes from? That's Coyote Ugly, the movie. So LeAnn Rimes is kind of a country, but kind of a crossover pop person. I don't know how much you know about her in the early 2000s, Tim, but Can't Find the Moonlight was on the soundtrack to Coyote Ugly, which I absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah, I have a very definite memory of LeAnn Rimes. She had that song that goes, "How do I?"
Yeah.
That was in the charts in 1998 in Australia, because when I went to Australia in 1998, like the radio was playing that and TV was playing that, and I don't know if it was MTV or whatever the local equivalent of MTV was playing that. And I remember being in a hotel.
Music something.
Yeah, and I remember being in a hotel room in Albany in Western Australia, southwestern Australia, and I remember that being on the TV, and they played the video for it. So that whenever I hear that song, it reminds me of being in Australia. Yeah,
when I think of LeAnn Rimes, there's the song Blue. Do you remember that when she had that blue song?
I think so. Yeah,
it was everywhere in America. I mean, I don't know if it was just an American thing, but I mean, literally everywhere. But she kind of like had like, I don't want to say 10 minutes of fame because it was longer than that, like 30 minutes of fame. Like she was kind of like hot for a while, and she did a version of Patsy Cline that was really good because her voice had the right sound for it. But but Can't Find the Moonlight is a favorite of mine. I have recorded that song. I have put it on many different things. Like that is a favorite. Natural by S Club 7 is the next one, which I love S Club 7, but that song's kind of meh.
Well, I will tell you, there's no party quite like an S Club party.
There is no party like an S Club party. I will never disagree with that. The video to that part, have you seen the video to that?
No, I haven't.
So the video to that one kills me because they're like in a car and like the gauge on the car like sends them into the future. And then they're like in a party anyway. It doesn't matter. It's going to be me. NSYNC. We know that one because right now it's May, everybody. So it's going to be me anyway. I'm Out of Love, Anastasia.
That is a great. Can I tell you? That is a great song. The whole of the Anastasia album is first class. Cowboys and Kisses again is a great song. Then there's another album that she released after that, which is equally as good.
I can agree with you. She's one I do know, but I just wanted you to know the next one is You Need Love Like I Do, Tom Jones and Heather Small.
Yeah, Heather Small was the singer from M People, and that is from his album Reload. Now, you know, like Carlos Santana did that Supernatural album where he sort of relaunched his career by doing duets with other people. Tom Jones did a similar thing on an album called Reload, and he did duets with like lots of contemporary artists, and it really put Tom back out there.
I mean, that makes sense, though. That's an easy way. And the next one is the most British thing I've ever heard. Kids, Robbie Williams and Kylie Minogue.
I know. I am not a Robbie Williams fan at all.
I don't really know him that well, to be honest. I just know who he is, kind of.
He was in Take That.
Yeah, but then he had his own solo career. I mean, I see his name a lot, and I've heard he has he's one of those people who has a really nice natural tone to their voice. And I've heard it, but I just don't know him that well. I feel like he's kind of one of those UK standards that I don't know as well as I probably should.
Yeah, he's somebody who was popular in the UK and did not break the US market. Nobody in the US knows who he is.
He does. He has now, and I think he works with who's the one that did the Blurred Lines song and that
Robin Thicke.
He did something with Robin Thicke, I think. And Robin Thicke's Canadian. Or he produced an album with Robin Thicke. There's some connection to them that kind of helped him break through, but I don't know all the details.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Trouble by Coldplay. I don't know that song, but I mean, I know Coldplay. I'm just going to say it. I'm not a Coldplay person, Tim. I'm not.
No, do you know what Coldplay is? Coldplay is U2 without the rock.
Yeah. Coldplay is that band that, if they're playing in the background, I'm okay with it, but I'm never going to kind of seek them out.
No, Coldplay is the kind of music that they play in the background in a supermarket. Yeah,
that's exactly. Okay, you got what I'm saying. It's fine, but it's just fine, right? I don't know. I'm going to leave this one to Tim, and maybe he knows this is I'm Over You, Martine McCutcheon.
Martine McCutcheon.
Yeah.
I think she was on a soap opera. I think she was on EastEnders, or she was an actress, and she was on. I think she was on EastEnders. I could be wrong with that. And she was one of these, much like Kylie Minogue, who was originally on Neighbours and then went off to have a music career. I think it was a similar path, but she was a UK artist.
Makes sense. On a night like this, Kylie Minogue, we've already discussed that. Stomp by Steps, which is another one of my favorites. So I told you guys, S Club 7 and Steps. I watched them every day when I got home from school. They came on ABC Family with whatever work, because they're British, and they were on our. I watched them every single day. I'm sure it was 5 years after it was on the British. You know what I mean? I was behind the times, but absolutely everybody. Vanessa Amorosi, don't know what that is. Walk of Life, Billy Piper. Out of Your Mind, Victoria Beckham.
Oh,
with True Steppers and Dan Powers.
I don't know who those people are, but
neither. But it has a Spice Girl in it, so of course I'm telling you guys. And the next one's also a Spice Girls hit. If you put the Spice Girls on it, it will sell. See, go top now. That's what I called out. Nobody listens to me. The next one's Mel C. It is I Turn to You, which her version is gorgeous.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard that. I mean, my favorite Mel C song is the song that she does with Bryan Adams.
Yeah. Well, she was, it's hard to say. She was the most commercially successful, and she had the strongest voice of all of them, right? Mel C did. Emma has a great soprano voice. Victoria had good alto sound. Jerry's we're not going to talk about it. But Mel C was significantly the best singer if you want to go like commercially successful singer. And her version of I Turn to You is gorgeous. It was popular in America. That was one that like made it out here. But I would say she probably had the biggest chance of making it as any of them. But anyway, my theory still stands. Put the Spice Girls on it, it will sell. Stand by what I said. Sarah McLachlan and Delirium Silence.
I have no idea.
I mean, I know who Sarah McLachlan is, but I don't know what that song is. Sky by Sonique something. Zombie Nation. Kern Craft for Life. I feel like this is a test to see if I can say words. Time to Burn, Storm. Feel the Beat, Darude. Ordinary World, Aora. You Take My Breath Away, Surreal. Who the hell are you, Madison Avenue? Tim, I don't know what any of this is.
No.
Boom's Night. I'm not even going to try it. Who Let the Dogs Up, but it's by B-Boys, so it's a different version. This one I know. It's Country Grammar by Nelly. I could rap that in my sleep. Everybody, if anybody was wondering. Unleash the Dragon by Cisco, which to be honest, the only song I ever heard from him is the Thong Song. Another Spice Girl, we got Tell Me by Mel B and Beautiful Inside Louise, and should I say Gabrielle?
Did you say Louise?
Yeah. Beautiful Inside Louise.
Yeah, her name is Louise Nerding, and then she married.
I thought you were going to tell me I was saying it wrong.
No, and then she married a football player, and then she became Louise Redknapp. I think it's Jamie Redknapp, soccer player that she married. Anyhow, I used to work with a guy years ago when I worked for a company that resold Sun Microsystems equipment. One of the guys on I think he was a technical support person who'd verify quotes. Mm-hmm. And he was Louise's backing dancer before she was super famous. And he went out with Louise.
Well, there you go. So Tim is effectively somehow connected to her 6 times removed.
Exactly. Somehow. And also in the same place, my supervisor at that same place was the first contestant ever on the UK show Blind Date.
Was that like the American one that was on like MTV or whatever, like that kind of thing or something like that?
Yeah, so what you would happen, you would have somebody asking questions to a panel of like 3 or 4 people, but they couldn't see them. And she was the picker on the very first episode ever of Blind Date featuring Cilla Black, who was the host.
I wonder how many people like that live their life and like every once in a while someone's like, were you that person? They're like, I don't like to talk about it, but yeah. That was me. Yeah, it's kind of one of those weird things.
Yeah, in fact, I was told that she did that, and they said don't talk to her about that. She's had enough of it.
She's over it. All right. So this one was in 1999, which I own this album, Tim. I already know I own this album. This album was the epitome of my childhood. I'm very excited for it. It is now 44.
Okay.
It's the third highest selling one. And the number one song on it is Baby One More Time by Miss Britney Spears.
Oh, there we go.
And number two, Tim, That Don't Impress Me Much by Miss Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. That is a fantastic song.
I mean,
Shania Twain, Mutt Lange production, bit of country, smoosh it all together. What do you get? You get that kind of Shania Twain music.
So the box in the video, the box she has, have you heard the story of the box?
No.
So the box is a hat box.
Okay.
So you know how she's wearing the full cheetah print, leopard print, whatever, jaguar, whatever you call it, that whole outfit. So she has that box that's like the circle box, and she like puts her foot up on it when she's talking, and she's like waiting in the desert. Apparently, she says the story that was a hat box to match the outfit. You know, she's got that shawl type thing going on. That was what was in it. But she said she got so many people writing her asking what was in the box, and she's like, nothing. I took it out. It was the hat for the outfit. I watched the thing with her recently. She's like, there's nothing in the box. Which I'm very proud of Shania because she lost her voice for lives really badly, Tim. But she had a real big struggle at her 2019, 2020, that Grammar performance where she came back in the pink, and I've shared it many times, killed it. Her voice has gotten better and better every time I see her. Love it.
Fantastic.
Sorry, I got my Shania high horse. And then number 3 is the real version, Mambo number 5 by Lou Bega. Not the Bob the Builder. But by the way, we're going back in time. For some reason, Now 50 was the number one highest selling. Then it was Now 47, Now 44. Just so everybody knows, we're kind of going back in time. Whatever happened in Now 50, they just killed it platinum 7 times. Probably the Kylie Minogue would be my guess.
I would have thought so.
Number 4 is another song we all know. Blue by Eiffel 65.
Okay.
So my husband has this theory. So, you know, it says, I'm blue, da-ba-dee. So when he was in high school, his friend convinced him that it was saying, I'm blue, and if I was green, I would die. Oh. And it was only when he gave it until he realized that wasn't the lyrics. He still sings it that way to this day.
But the memory's burned in his brain.
Oh, here we go. Tragedy by Steps, aka the remake Steps did that made them probably the most famous they ever were.
And back when I was DJing in Moroccan Soul, that was one of my standard songs.
Well, their version of Tragedy was actually really good, and I even remember. That's not what I would say. I remember the music video. Like they're in like this grand hall, and they're like walking in. It's kind of like a play on the old school like. What's the word I'm looking for? Like when they used to do like the dances in the medieval times where they're all wearing the big outfits and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what their video for Tragedy was like. And it used to play on Disney all the time. Like it was very popular here. I think it was, honestly, for me, I probably heard, even though I did grow up with the Bee Gees, we've talked about this with my mother, I've heard that version as much as I've heard the Bee Gees version.
Okay.
And you know how Jerry Halliwell went through her Hispanic thing where she speaks Spanish? There's like a whole thing. I don't know if you know this.
I was not aware of that, no. She
speaks Spanish fluently. She always has, but I'm not. It's me, like M-I-C-H-I, Chios, like Chito Latino. I'm not gonna. Don't come for me. I'll talk to my older sister. She can tell me how it's supposed to be said later. But she's the one, Robbie Williams. When you say nothing at all, and this is that Ronan Keating.
Ronan Keating, the famous Ronan Keating from Boyzone. Is it the
same When You Say Nothing at All that I'm thinking it is?
Yeah, it's the same song. It's a cover.
Oh, okay. So did he do a lot of covers?
Probably. I mean, the sort of 2000s or just before was rife with cover versions.
Yeah, that's fair. The next one is My Story Still Stands True. It's Mel C. Put a Spice Girls on it, it will sell. Northern Star, which I actually don't know what that song is. But she's on there, so therefore it sold. The next one is a song that I used to love, Tim, but I could never hear again, and it would be too soon. It's Kiss Me, Sixpence None the Richer.
Yeah, that is a good song. I'm familiar with that song, but I'm not burnt out on that song.
So the reason I'm burnt down on it is probably a very specific reason that not everybody feels. There's two things. I put it back in the day in my MySpace profile.
Oh.
So when people would click on it. But then I've talked about the reason for that Alabama song that we don't talk about. I can't hear it anymore. The one about Alabama, because of everybody with a guitar who knows C, D, and G, right? Mm-hmm. For some reason, Sixpence None the Richer was the one that everyone who thought they were a little bit of a good singer could maybe play the guitar. Because I used to grow up, like I would play music and I'd be in musicals and we stuck backstage all the time with the same people, right? Over and over and over. This one was one they tried to do all the time. I think because it's pretty easy, right? Mm-hmm. It's a pretty easy song. Everybody knows how to play it, but I just can't. So between playing it on my MySpace for too long and that, I can't hear it anymore. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go with the Texas band again that you said was from Ireland, I think, right?
Scotland.
Scotland. Don't. Oh, my God. Jillian, if you're listening, I just forgot. I don't think they're the same. Okay. Summer Sun, Texas. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good song. I think the singer was Charlene Spiteri, I think was the name of the lead singer of Texas.
Okay. Why were they called Texas? I have so many questions.
Also, there used to be a DIY chain in the UK called Texas Home Care. Did you know that?
No. Why? Okay. Well.
I don't know. We used to have Home Base instead of Home Depot and Texas Home Care. I think Texas Home Care became something else. I'm not sure what it. I think it became Do It All or something. But yeah, we had Texas Home Care. I
hit my keyboard again, everyone. Don't come for Tim. It's just my sound on my space board. All right. So Sing It Back, and it's MOLOKO. So is that like
Moloko? Yeah. Sing it back. Sing it, sing it, sing. See, around this time, I was playing lots of gigs with a band called The Guilty Party. And we used to go out and play nightclubs. We used to go out and play a nightclub in Bracknell called the Beer Keller at the Copped Beach Hotel. And we'd play there maybe once a month or once every 6 weeks or so. And they had a house DJ. So a lot of these songs are very familiar to me because they were being played in these nightclubs we played around that time. So that's where I know these songs from.
Well, look at you, Tim. The next one is Sun is Shining. It's Bob Marley. It's got to be a remake versus Funk Star Deluxe. I don't know it, but I'm imagining there's some up-tempo Eastern European house music on that or something.
Yeah, I'd imagine Mr. Marley was nothing to do with it other than they lifted the tracks.
Yeah. Not Over Yet, Diana Ross. We've heard that before. Mm-hmm. When the Heart is Over, Miss Tina Turner. Canned Heat by
Jamiroquai.
Yes, and you know what? I remember him, but I only remember him for one song, and I can't place what song it is.
You know, Joy.
It's the one with the hat.
Yeah, you know Canned Heat by Jamiroquai. I can guarantee you know that song. You know in the film Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
You know when he gets the tape from the Goodwill or whatever it is, and he learns all the moves? Yeah. The song he dances to is Canned Heat.
But is there another song that they did where he's wearing a hat in the music video? That's really
Virtual
vague.
Insanity. Yeah,
that's the one. So I literally went into virtual insanity trying to remember that song recently. I was talking to Charlie. I'm like, it was when we were young, like early 2000s. He's wearing a hat. He's got like long sleeves and pants on. And in the video, the room keeps moving.
Yeah, it's Virtual Insanity.
Yeah. And I literally was like, what is it? And Charles was like, I don't know. And I'm like, there was a song with this guy. It took me hours, Tim. I was Googling room moving, hat guy, early 2000s. This is recent because like I could not. I'm like, I know this song. Have you ever done that though? When you know this, but you don't know why you know it. And I'm like, it's a thing. You know what he always reminds me of with the hat? A sock monkey.
Yeah.
So, he reminds me of a sock monkey. I don't know why.
The guy's name is J.K., who's the singer from Jamiroquai. Yeah. Jamiroquai are a fantastic band.
No, I totally know now that you said it. Like, it's dawning on me what it is.
And can I tell you a sort of Jamiroquai claim to fame?
What's that?
So, around this time, they had a Ernie Ball Music Man event in a hotel in London. Ernie Ball Music Man is a brand of guitars which I play. And it was the importers of those guitars held some kind of event that you could go to. So I went to it, and me and my friend Al the bass went. And they had a house band there who supported a bunch of different artists who got up and played with them. And it was Jamiroquai apart from JK.
No, I totally remember him. Now that you're saying it, all rings bells. But I just remember recently I literally went into insanity trying to remember what that song was, because it's one of those, like, you've heard it on the radio, you've heard it in the, like, when you're walking in the grocery store, right, Tim? But you don't think about it daily.
Sure.
And I couldn't remember the song versus the music video, because the music video is very distinct, where he's walking and the room's moving, and then he's over here, and then he's over here, and he's over here. So anyway, there's my Jamiroquai thought. The next one is something I did not know that happened, but it's still very British. It's a version of Burning Down the House with Tom Jones featuring the Cardigans.
Yeah, from, I forget the name of the, Naina is the singer from the Cardigans. And again, it's from that album Reload. And it's a really good song. And there's a freaky video that's not super different from the Jamiroquai video, which has people in these like uni-suits, like silver uni-suits, and it's sort of a bit weird. And I also have a claim to fame with Nina from the Cardigans. I was in a bar in Jönköping in Sweden in... it's called Poor Tapatan, I think. Gilbo will correct me on my Swedish pronunciation, but it means on the wallpaper. And it was like a cool little funky bar in Jönköping in Sweden. And Nina from the Cardigans, that is her hometown. In fact, the Cardigans are from Jönköping. And I was in that bar, and she was in the bar too. And it was pointed out to me. He said, "See that person over there? That's Nina from the Cardigans." I went, "Oh, look at that."
And I love the Cardigans. They're one of my top bands. Like, I adore them. I think they're fantastic, but I didn't know they did a song with Tom Jones. So I'm going to have to listen to that. The next one is Drinking in LA, Brand Van 3000.
No idea.
Okay, good. Because I don't either. Moving by Supergrass.
Supergrass were a great band. They did that, We are young, we are free. Ba, 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 ba.
We were in print. That's the only one I know from them, but I don't know what Moving is. You'll Be in My Heart, Phil Collins. We know that one. Mm-hmm. Yes. This one did not age well. If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time by R. Kelly. I don't remember him doing a version of that.
No, he's one of those people. We'll move on to the next one, Joe. The
next one is a great one. It is a Spice Girl. It's Jerry Halliwell. Actually, the next two are Spice Girls. Oh. Jerry Halliwell, Lift Me Up. And then the next one is Tin Tan Out, featuring Emma Bunton, What I Am. There we go. I mean, I told you, put the Spice Girls on it, it will sell. You told me what this person's name is earlier, but I'll let you say it again. I've Got You by Martine
McCutcheon.
That, whatever Tim said. Larger Than Life, the Backstreet Boys. That one I do know. Give It to You, Jordan Knight. I'm trying to place that song.
Jordan Knight was in one of those bands. New Kids on the Block.
Was that what he was? Okay, but I'm trying to place a song. Sunshine by this Gabrielle. She's everywhere. I don't know who Gabrielle is, but she's apparently popular.
Yeah.
Never Let You Down by Honeys. S Club. There ain't no party like an S Club. Gonna show you.
See, there we are. I told you earlier.
Everybody get deaf tonight. Nikki by a band called Lolly. Is that a version of Mickey?
I assume so. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I thought Lolly sounded British. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, you have a lolly.
I may have just assumed. Wants to not be from the UK at all. Two Times by Ann Lee.
Okay.
We know this one. We're going to, it's the Venga Boys or Venga Boy, whatever you say that word. We're going to
Barbados.
No, that's
Ibiza.
Why couldn't I get that word out, Tim?
Again, that is a remake cover because there is a song called I'm Going to Barbados, and that song is I'm Going to Ibiza.
But I have a heart. I love them. I mean, boom, 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 boom. I want you in. I have a heart for that one, Tim. Now in the video where they're on the bus, it's in my heart and soul, Tim, as Phil Collins would tell you. It's in my heart and soul. I don't know. I just love them. Bailamos, Enrique Iglesias, which is my husband is obsessed with Enrique Iglesias because I told you he loved dramatic music.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Mucho Mambo Sway by Shaft. Wouldn't know what that was.
No idea.
Don't Stop ATB. That sounds British to me, but
I don't know that.
The Launch, DJG. I See You Baby, Groove Amanda featuring Grandmama Funk. King of My Castle, Wham Do Project. Back in My Life, Alice DJ. Turn It Around, Alina, Angel, Tina Cousins, and Living Faces by Liquid Child. We do not have the time to go through the next one, but I just have to let you guys know the top song, or the top two songs on the next one are Say You'll Be There by the Spice Girls.
I mean, this is Spice-tastic is what it is.
So this is now number 35 in 1996, of course. And then it's George Michael, Fast Love, flavored by Peter Andre. I don't know what that is. That's probably something British. Have You Ever, East 17 feature that Gabrielle person. Then Breakfast at Tiffany's, Deep Blue Something. And that's the top 5, Tim, which probably does not surprise you. I'm just going to scroll through and see if there's anything else I think we would like. The Way Life Is, the Pet Shop Boys. I do know that song. Don't Dream It's Over, Crowded House. If It Makes You Happy, Tim Sheryl Crow.
Perfect.
I'll Never Break Your Heart, the Backstreet Boys. Oh, What a Night, the Virgin by Clock. Hold on. Bjork's Possibly Baby, Chasing Rainbows. Oh, I know this song. It's Neighborhood by Space. But anyway, that's the other one. Oh, Boyzone. I do need to mention Boyzone. Words is on this one, Tim.
There we are. Linda Dobson, if you're listening, she would be so proud.
And now they're at, what's the total? Hold on. Just so everybody knows, there are 111 now. That's what they call music. It was released in April 8th, 2022.
There we go. Well, we'll go down to Our Price Records and buy yourself a copy.
All right. And Tim has schooled me on these British terms because I don't know growing up, Tim. Honestly, the reason I want to do this episode, the reason I'm so excited is I didn't pick up on how many that it was so Richard Branson's obviously British and Virgin Mobiles is British, but I don't think I ever picked up on the fact that it was so from the UK. And now I'm looking through the songs and it's very British.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we are.
You win some, you lose some. All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.